Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I am Joe Scorn Brace. I'm your usual host, and we're here to talk about the gaming industry and everything in between. And I'm joined here by Tony.
Hey, that's me.
And let's talk about games. So I always change the intro. I never get it consistent enough, but I'm not tied to the intro.
You haven't signed a contract with the intro managers at Blizzard
HQ.
Division. Yeah. That's fortunate, really. Yeah.
So, Tony, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I was actually debating this, as you know before. So I'm just going to mention one thing. I'm just trying to do Minecraft and trains with our Nazi mod pack, as it's been referred to. I think trains is like a really underrated, Railcraft is like really underrated mod, and like trying to set up like a train system instead of just like flying, I think is much more interesting than just like setting up a jetpack and flying.
Like Railcraft.
Yeah.
I was sort of doing that before I went off.
But yeah, I've actually been trying to mess around. Yeah, I'm trying to mess around and actually have like a proper a loop in creative, and like just trying to so I can create it in survival when we finally get there on the tech tree.
I know something we've been playing this week.
Yes?
Guild Wars 2.
Guild Wars 2, yeah.
We actually have been playing a lot of Guild Wars, which we will talk about when we talk about Blizzard and WoW a bit later.
Yeah.
But in order of balancing and what we feel about that. But I think as a secondary MMO, I think
Guild Wars is up there.
Well, I call it a secondary MMO because every MMO after WoW is just a secondary MMO.
No, but I think its business model means it can be a secondary MMO. You don't have to subscribe and I know you don't like this game, but Elder Scrolls Online is also a secondary MMO to me. I actually really like it.
Yeah, but you also like Skyrim. So.
Yeah, I really like Skyrim.
You have a tendency to like awful games like anime bullshit and that sort of stuff.
No, because I admit they're bad, though. There's a difference.
Well, you still haven't admitted Skyrim's bad, so...
No, I would never admit Skyrim. There's problems with Skyrim, but I don't think it's bad overall.
Okay. Well, that's one thing me and you play. Anything else before I talk about myself?
No, it's all on you now. All on you.
Okay, well, as usual, I have been playing Overwatch. And they just added a Summer Games update as I was trying to record my Heavy Bullets review. So I quickly got that. Oh, I will say, I also uploaded my Heavy Bullets review.
Yeah.
In case you haven't watched that, you should go check it out.
You could have had just the hint about it, but no, you had to make it explicit.
I'm selling out.
Exactly.
Watch it.
Watch it.
I felt like I liked the video in the end. I think it was, pretty good put together, but I wasn't that passionate about Heavy Bullets. I just thought it was a game that not many people have covered. So it was a good game to cover from that perspective, where I could kind of talk about it because nobody else really had, but it's not like a roguelike game that I really love. Because at this point...
It looked really interesting to me, though.
Yeah, it is really interesting, but it's quite a flawed game, and the actual developer, Terry Velman, he's thought to have kind of abandoned it at this point, so it is what it is. The game kind of exists, and if you have issues with it, it probably won't get an update, but it is quite good fun. It's got the general load light mechanics, so if you want to learn more about that, check out the review. The next one I'm going to be doing, I've been debating because my channel never set out to be a roguelike channel, but at this point it kind of has become. That's what it is. Well, it was never like the mission statement. The statement was I was just going to review games that I enjoy, and I really enjoy roguelike games, and they're also usually quite short in terms of
content to review.
Actual content, and you put a lot of playtime into them.
It's like Binding of Isaac. Like you can put hundreds of hours in, but to actually review the mechanics is quite short in comparison.
They usually tend to not have like a very strong story or that sort of stuff. So it's not like a cinematic experience that you get to play through or that sort of stuff. I like it. I'm a massive fan. I don't know if I've said this before, but I'm a massive fan of games with really strong, core combat mechanics. And to make a good roguelite, you basically have to make a really good combat game, and then
because there's no story.
But so that's maybe one of the reasons I like it, because you have to build a really fun core combat loop around your game, and that's what makes it a good roguelike game. Not the fact that it has a great story or it's got great visuals. Those definitely help. I feel like a roguelite like Binding of Isaac, I really loved the Ed McMillan's drawings for that game.
It's a good aesthetic for the theme, isn't it?
Yeah, a good aesthetic to a roguelike game can make it feel that much better. But the core thing with roguelike games is it's fun, because you're going to have to be playing that for hours, and you will die a lot. So if you get frustrated and the core mechanic of the game isn't fun, then there's not much point.
It needs to not feel repetitive in some way as well, even if it I would say kind of is, but like interesting enough way, like you don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again in the combat.
Because I play
like Skyrim.
I play a lot of games that have like really fun core, combat loops, because I enjoy like hack and slashes. I enjoy Diablo-esque dungeon crawler games that are more focused on the actual combat. Like WoW. What else was I thinking of? Oh, MOBAs. Those don't really have like a very expansive story to them. It's kind of you play the same map over and over again. So if you enjoy that one, mechanic, then you will enjoy this. So that's something I've noticed about myself. A strong combat system adds to the gameplay. One of the reasons
enlightened yourself.
Yeah, one of the reasons I didn't like Bastion was because I felt like the first half of the game was really slow and boring, and the combat mechanics weren't great.
Yeah,
the second half picked up a lot.
Yeah, I think I'm not the opposite of you, but I kind of got like two pillars to me. Like I can either have a game that has good game mechanics, and that no story, but I can also have it carried by the story as well.
Because
so it's like not necessarily one or the other, but I can have like mixtures of the two as well.
Because if you look at the other end, I hate games that are basically just walking simulators.
Yeah, as long as there's an interesting story. As long as there's an interesting story, I actually don't mind that.
But I think when a game has a really interesting story and universe and ties that to a really solid, combat physics based system,
that's definitely the best.
You're going on like Half-Life 2 territory of good, where you just you've done everything really well.
Well, I will argue. Half-Life 2 isn't that great, but I understand.
So, what didn't you like about Half-Life 2? Please tell me.
I don't know. I can't. I just didn't like it.
So, Half-Life 2 is my favourite game of all time.
I know. I don't know why I don't like it.
It did everything really well.
Then again, I don't like first-person platforming.
But it doesn't.
I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters either.
Platforming.
So.
It had a little bit of everything in it, to be honest. It was a very diverse game.
I just didn't find it engaging. The story wasn't that interesting to me either, though. So, but I will admit, like if you like the story, you like the mechanics, then it's a fantastically solid overall game. Little bits of everything from a lot of genres in. But just wasn't for me.
How much of it did you play?
I didn't play that much of it. I didn't actually buy it. I can't remember who I played it with now.
Wait, you didn't actually play it?
I do not own it, as last time I checked.
How did you play it?
I don't know. I played it around someone's house ages ago. Before I used Steam properly.
I would suggest you try playing it then, if you played it ages ago around somebody's house.
I'll report. I'll do that if I have money. How much is it? Hang on.
It can't be that expensive. It's an old game.
I definitely don't own it. So,
for the time it came out in as well, maybe because people say Citizen Kane is the best film that ever came out. But because I remember a great movie reviewer was talking about this Donald Trump. He said, that Citizen Kane is the greatest film of all time, but it was great for the time it came out. Like, someone who's watching Citizen Kane now wouldn't be like, oh yeah, this is the greatest film of all time.
See, I still kind of disagree with that, though. I think I could still watch it from what I've seen of it. I think you're right, like, different eras have, like, different...
But I think...
different productions.
When Half-Life 2 came out, it was, like, insane. If you look at any other game made in... Was it 2004? It was like actually insane.
I'll give you that.
2 was.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I was talking about Overwatch, but I went off on a tangent because Toby's shit talking Half-Life 2.
Hang on, no, Overwatch was ages ago. You talked about your channel. And
yeah, because I went off on a tangent from Overwatch. I hadn't finished yet. But yeah, I was thinking I'll go back to the channel. And we'll go reverse derailment into the...
Right, yeah.
So, one thing I also want to say, I was going to make another video, and I was thinking about making a video explaining the differences between a roguelite and a roguelike.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to my friend, and he was saying, because I said it's a roguelite, as in light like a feather, and he said, isn't it a roguelike? And I was like, well, it's generally known as a roguelike. But I'd argue they're very different things, and I know someone like TB says that most games these days stray away from what Rogue was, and they're kind of more roguelite than roguelite. So I was going to make a video explaining the difference between that, and I thought that would be really interesting for me. I'd love to do that, but I don't know if anyone else would be interested, because at this point the Scorn channel's kind of turned into a channel for roguelites. Reviews and stuff, so I think anyone that watches will probably be interested in learning about that. So I think I'm either going to do that, or I will.
I'll see if we go.
Yeah, or I will do a review of Enter the Gungeon, another roguelite that's come out recently. That's a bullet hell roguelite that's quite good from what I've played of it so far. But well, I mean, I haven't completed it. I didn't complete a lot of the roguelites I play, actually, because they're too bloody hard.
Yeah.
On my Spelunky review, I show that I have over 100 hours, and I still haven't bloody finished the game because it's so ridiculously hard. But yeah, back to Overwatch. They added the summer event where they had Lucio Ball, which I don't know how they
Rocket League.
How they haven't been sued by Rocket League, I don't know. In the post, they were just like, we have created this brand new soccer-based game mode, and I was like, fairly sure, like, even down to the arena and the ball, it's completely...
Yeah, I was just like, even
Rocket
the graphics of the arena, the net, looks very similar. And like the mechanics of how the ball moves.
I was looking at it, I was like, they must have worked with Rocket League in some way to... like a collaboration with them, and they've done they might do some sort of cross promotion sort of thing. But no, they were just like, no, I won't lie, I definitely made this. So
it's definitely plagiarism.
You see this a lot more, because we were talking about Fallout the other week, where they kind of just made their own mod and didn't give the credit to the Autumn Leaves one, and it seems like Blizzard's...
Syriac 5 days ago, McDonald's.
Yeah, okay. Well, we haven't discussed that on the podcast, but if you want to bring that up now, that McDonald's made a cow advert that was almost identical to Syriac's video where he had the dancing cows, then yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it's worth mentioning. Plagiarism.
Yeah, but yeah, it seems weird that they wouldn't work with Rocket League. Especially since Rocket League at the moment, they've just released a new game mode for their game. They just announced this brand new, like, crazy kind of I'm going to call it Mario Kart-esque.
Really?
Sort of game mode where you can get power-ups, where you can shoot fists out of your car and shoot tornadoes and freeze things. There's like crazy stuff you can do. And that looks quite fun. If anything, playing Lucio Ball made me want to go back and play Rocket League more. It's kind of like an advertisement for...
well, that's probably you plagiarise the original. It's like when you have WoW clones, just when you play WoW.
Yeah. But yeah, that event's really fun. I finally got up to level 100, which is about around 100 hours of gameplay on Overwatch now. So I've been playing it pretty hard. I really wanted to get to 100 because you get the XP resets. You kind of prestige when you hit 100. So now I get free. I get really easy loot boxes, and for the limited event, they're adding content that you can only get from the loot boxes for the summer games for the Olympics.
So were you trying to get what were you trying to get? The all the limited edition ones, or just the good ones?
Yeah, I'm a big Tracer player, so I wanted the Tracer skin. I got one of them because she has 2 legendary skins. I have the Summer Games one where she's in like a Summer Games running outfit, but there's also a Great Britain running outfit one variation that I wanted really badly. So trying for that.
Any chimp ones that you want to go for?
Oh, any Winston ones?
Yeah.
He has a really cool victory pose where he's just kissing a gold medal.
Okay.
So it's pretty funny. Unfortunately, you didn't get any skins. Like I was talking about this with a friend when we were discussing all the skins, and I said, why did they not make like a long jumper Winston? Because his character
God, was so good.
His character literally like leaps, so that would be very fitting to have him as like a long jumper. But no, they didn't give a skin to every character. They gave some character skins, some emotes. You know, it wasn't like a full content where they gave everyone their own skin and stuff. There's a lot. So they say there's over 100 items in it, but a lot of them are icons and sprays and voice lines. So a lot of the time when you open the crate, you will be getting stuff you don't really want, because it'll be mostly sprays and that sort of stuff. So there's quite a lot of disappointing crates. And the main thing people were pissed off with Blizzard for this event, they loved the skins and stuff, and they loved Lucia Ball. It was pretty fun. But they did not allow you to buy any of the skins from the boxes with credit. Because if you get duplicates, you get coins, which you can use to spend on skins. But any of the skins from the Summer Games event could not be purchased with coins, and people are really annoyed with this, that they couldn't buy the skins they wanted. So they kind of felt like they had to buy the crates from Blizzard at like a massive, prices, which kind of seems money grubby from Blizzard. But their response to this was, we wanted the skins to feel unique. We didn't want people to just be able to buy like the Tracer skin. So say like when this event ends, I will have like the legendary Tracer skin, and people will be like, oh, that's really cool, and it'll be really rare because no one else could have bought the skin while the event's open. And they said they don't think it'll feel too bad because the same event is going to be available yearly, so you will be able to go back and get it next year, sort of thing. And they're planning to do more of these seasonal events. So maybe they'll do one at Halloween, or maybe they'll do one at Christmas. Because
Halloween.
They showed. They didn't show anything. They said like WoW has these events where they have like the Headless Horseman in World of Warcraft, or the Winter Veil event in World of Warcraft, and they said they kind of wanted to do a similar thing with Overwatch. So I'm looking forward to that. Some interesting game modes with those. I don't know, people were kind of annoyed with the loot box stuff. I don't think it was that bad. Just kind of money grubby from Blizzard. But yeah, that's what I've been playing mainly. I've been playing mainly Blizzard games because I played Overwatch. There's a new season of Diablo, and the new WoW expansion's coming out soon. So I was kind of getting back into that. The Demon Hunters will be available tomorrow as the recording of this podcast. So we'll report back. I'm planning on getting game time and playing with some friends, so I will talk about it a bit more if you're interested in what the new Legion expansion's like. I have looked quite extensively into it. I think I'm planning on probably going to play Pirate Rogue.
Rogue?
They completely changed one of the rogue specs from combat to outlaw, and they've given it a pirate theme, and I already have a level 100 at rogue, so I'll probably be leveling that up to 110 and going to be a pirate rogue. Quite interested to play.
You can get the costume and everything.
I'm a big PvP player, so I'm going to play arena and do all the PvP talents. That's what I'm really looking forward to, the PvP talents and the Battleground prestige rewards and that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm actually pretty hyped for this expansion. Like,
I'm pretty hyped for this expansion as well.
A lot of people are really getting hyped for this expansion, so it better be good because, I mean, I got hyped for Cataclysm, and then after that I was kind of like, yeah, fuck WoW, because they completely imbalanced Arena and made it not great. So I kind of quit then. And then after that I thought Panda was a joke, and Draenor was awful, so... But apparently Legion is the reason Draenor was awful, because they were using the time to develop Legion while making content for Draenor, which is why there was such a drought. So maybe that'll be good. But so talking about Blizzard, you also wanted to talk about how Blizzard can't balance their games.
Yeah. This is like the main thing I wanted to talk about.
So did you want to start with? StarCraft?
Yeah, I can say like the way they balance StarCraft and Hearthstone is very different, isn't it?
Mm.
Because I'll give you a little backstory like how other like trading card games, mainly Magic the Gathering, balance things. But because trading card games, you can't just change the cards off because you've already printed them. You can't change it. It's already out there. So what they do instead is they make new cards to counteract it. However, Blizzard has a digital card game. They don't have this problem, and yet they still balance it like a traditional trading card game.
They mostly refuse to ever nerf cards, and they never buff cards. They've never buffed.
It's so stupid. Like they have the perfect platform to make it like the most balanced game, and instead they made it the stupid only like they have like two expansions on at once in the balance modes.
They have 3 expansions on the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, Black Rock Mountain, the Grand Tournament, and Whisper of the Old Gods.
So you can use all 3 of those,
plus all the classic cards.
Yeah. Which ones can you use in the balance mode though?
That's the standard format that you can use. The ones I said.
Yeah. Okay. Whereas in StarCraft 2, they do actually change units around, but I do get this distinct impression that they don't actually play their game enough.
Yeah, that's what it feels like with Hearthstone. Like,
so you want to talk about the Priest rebalance, or not rebalancing?
Well, so Priest is by far the worst class in the game at the moment.
It used to be really good.
But the pre-standard mode, they were in a pretty good spot because they had like a lot of the Naxxramas and GVG cards put Priest in an okay spot. There was a lot of good cards like Velen's Chosen, Deathlord, that sort of stuff. But this expansion, they've just been awful. They got no good cards, and they've just announced all of the cards that are coming out in the new adventure mode, One Night in Karazhan. And they've given Priest the most garbage cards I've ever seen. Like,
after promising they'd be good again.
They've given them a 5-mana 3/4 that resummons a random minion, or we can assume a random minion because it doesn't specifically say random, but we're going to assume it's random. So you're getting a 3/4. A 3-mana 3/4, which you wouldn't play anyway. There's no 3-mana 3/4s in the game, really, at all, that anyone plays at the moment. And you're also paying a Resurrect. So you're going to have to build a deck entirely around never playing small minions, which means that as Priest, you will spend most of your turns passing and desperately trying to clear the board after cards like Light Bomb have been removed from the game because the standard format is gone. They lack so much. You also lack a lot of card draw and removal, and it's all been removed. And yeah, it just doesn't really exist anymore. So
what the card that did damage to another minion or something? Was that a thing?
No. So
okay.
They've added a card draw card, which is Purify, which is 2 mana. Silence your own minion.
Oh, that was
draw a card.
Yeah.
That is possibly one of the worst Priest cards they have ever made.
Oh my god.
So So think about this. So on turn 2, you have to have a minion on the board, which priests barely ever have. They usually will have a cleric on turn 1, maybe, which has negative synergy with the other card they just announced. You don't want cleric in that deck because you don't want to resummon the cleric. But so you have to play a minion, and then you have to silence it so you can have the privilege to draw a card. And if you look at every other class's ability to draw cards, they all have like 2 mana draw cards that don't have this awful drawback that Priest has. Like you could look at Warlock; they have like Dark Peddler, where you get a 2/2 body, and you discover a 1 mana card. Like it's insane that they would give Priest this card. They've just given them complete shit, and I think the reason behind, they haven't said anything as to why Priest's just been put into the gutter, but I'm going to come out and say I think it's because of the wild format. So the main problem at the moment is Blizzard's still trying to balance the game around both formats because they have to.
Okay.
Because people, a smaller part of the community still plays wild. So before the standard format came out, Priest was in a pretty good spot, and cards like Entomb are some of the it's like the reason Blizzard will never give Priest good cards until Entomb is rotated out of the format, because Entomb was such a strong card that if they give it to Priest, they're going to make them too strong.
Right.
So what Entomb does is it's 6 mana. And what it does is it shuffles an enemy minion into your deck. So if Priest is ever good, they have like the most insane removal in the game. But if Priest is bad, it's just kind of useless. Like you can't really do anything with it. So they're kind of stuck as a design point. They kind of put themselves in this design trap where they either have to make Priest too weak or too strong.
Well, what's the reason for making Shaman really strong then?
Well, Blizzard played this really funny prank where when the Grand Tournament came out, Aggro Shaman was by far one of the best decks in the game, and all the old cards were getting rotated out, all the old like aggro control cards like Zombie Chow, probably Blizzard's best designed cards. Really sad that they got rid of that, because it was one of the best designed anti-aggro cards in the game that was really well made by Blizzard, probably their best designed card. They got rid of that, they got rid of like Deathlord and all that stuff. And what they did was like, why don't we just make an expansion, Whisper of the Old Gods, where we give Shaman fucking ridiculous cards, where they're already the strongest class, and we turn them into the fucking strongest aggro class in the game.
Makes sense. I can understand where they're coming from.
They gave them a 4 mana 7/7.
Yeah.
Which is the most ridiculous. And then they were like, let's have a card where you can summon a random totem, and let's also make a totem that's a 2 mana 3/4. So it's insane when you play it, and it's also insane when you get it from RNG from this other card that's already incredible value.
Well, I can only assume that the lead developer is playing Shaman right now.
Ben Brode.
Yeah.
He claimed that Priest had a secret unicorn deck that was nobody had discovered it yet, and that people were just not hadn't found out what made Priest really strong. So people went on like a crazy playing spree of like playing Priest and just playing Priest, try to find a deck that works, and nobody could. All the decks are awful. They always lost. And then Ben Brode just came out and said, "Oh yeah, I didn't actually have a deck. I just wanted people to experiment with Priest." Which I think was his... I think what he wanted to do was to get people to try out Priest and kind of slow down the meta, but it really didn't work because people were never going to stop playing aggro Shaman.
Yeah, kind of just sped it up in some ways. It confirmed that they were bad.
No one has been able to get above rank 5 with Priest this season. Like, hardcore Legend Priest players have given up on the class because of the current meta, because of how useless Priest is against Warrior and Warlock and classes like that are really strong at the moment. Like, I sent you a picture, Toby, of how Blizzard balances their game, and it's just someone handing each other a giant sword and taking it in turns of being the most broken class. That's how they've balanced Hearthstone. You know,
they've done World of Warcraft before.
Shaman has the giant sword, and they've done it with WoW before. You know, they released fucking Wrath of the Lich King. Death Knights were broken. Paladins were broken. And then they just nerfed... Like, I've played a Ret Paladin for fucking years, and that has been the most emotional roller coaster I've ever been on, of being Ret Paladin's broken, Ret Paladin is unplayable.
Yeah. What's really funny, in StarCraft 2, what usually happens, like, they bring out... I always mained, like, Protoss, like the sci-fi teleporting people with psionic abilities. Well, for whatever reason, when they brought out StarCraft 2 originally, every update was just Protoss have been nerfed. Protoss have been nerfed. Then was it Heart of the Swarm came out, and again, oh look, Protoss have been nerfed. Protoss have been nerfed. They seem to just make them way too powerful, and then have to then nerf them later. But some of the things they come out with are ridiculous, though. It's like Terran to me, like. The Marines are so broken, like they can be used almost 100% of the time. There's very few times that they can't be used. And Protoss don't have this, and no other race has this, and yet they refuse to rebalance these things. I don't understand what they want.
I know it's hard to like balance these games, but other games, like I'll say, like League of Legends has a patch like every month to rebalance their game, where like again, like Hearthstone will have a format change every like 3 months, or that's how. So the game meta becomes so stagnant, like for a quarter of the year, where they do nothing about the balance of the game, and they just change who holds the big sword in the in the meta.
And whoever gives away the big sword becomes the weakest character as well.
Like Valve just balances their game by, they go, this character's OP, let's make every character OP, like in Dota. Like, they make every single character broken, so nobody is strong. It's like...
I think that's kind of works, though. Like, you have to play to the strengths of the character, and it kind of works.
In Incredibles, it's like, when everybody's super, nobody is.
Yeah. I think that honestly is the best way to balance it, though. I can't give an example of it working, because obviously Valve games seem to be the only games that do this. Like, I can't think of another one on the top of my head that have just like loads of OP.
They make everyone
in some
broken.
Way. Yeah, but I think that seems really interesting though. Like, because you would just have to play to their strengths.
It makes every character feel strong, whereas where like a game of like League, where every character feels weak, but every character just feels like kind of weak.
Yeah.
So they bounce it around, everyone having like little swords.
Little sword balancing, yeah.
And then sometimes you get someone with a bigger sword, but then you'll get someone who has a sword that counters that sword. Like, with League, it's not just balancing it by, usually you'll have like a bunch of people with like little swords, and then you'll have someone with like a axe, and then to counter that, instead of like they will nerf someone if their axe gets big enough in this analogy, but usually you'll have someone come along who has a shield, and this person before he had a really tiny he had like this really tiny sword, but people have realised that his shield is really good against the axe, and they kind of balance it around finding counters for that specific playstyle. But with Blizzard, they don't really do that at all. Like, if a deck's really strong, usually it won't have a specific counter. Like, there's not enough outplay potential from the other classes to make it strong enough that a couple of classes are the only dominant things in the game. Like, probably the best balanced game Blizzard has at the moment is Overwatch. That's seen like really good balancing from Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch team, and it's being handled really well at the moment. Lots of props to them. I'm very interested to see how that will turn out, but hopefully, if that continues, I think Overwatch will be like Blizzard's flagship, best balanced game. because none of the characters feel too strong, because they also have this kind of similar approach where one character, even if he's really strong, another character will be played more because he can counter them. It's similar to that kind of system I was talking about earlier, whereas you don't see that kind of thing with Hearthstone that much. Some decks counter other decks, but not to any extent near like Overwatch or League. I don't know. What do you think of the new Priest cards? Pretty strong, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go Priest when I don't play Hearthstone again.
Actually, Andy, he was on the podcast earlier talking about Hearthstone. Sent me a Priest deck and was like, "Would this be strong in the new meta?" I was like, I don't think Priest is going to be strong no matter what cards you put in this deck. You could literally put any card in this deck and it would still be shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to balance. I sent him back a deck list of what I thought would be okay in the kind of idea he had, because he was trying to make use of the Resurrect card that's just been added. But the problem I had was I was like, this deck is okay, but it has no card draw, and the new card Purify is a fucking joke.
If I remember correctly, weren't we concerned the fact that they split between Wild and...
I was concerned that nobody would play Wild.
But I was concerned that they would try and balance both of them, and then they wouldn't be able to do either.
Yeah.
And I honestly, personally, I would play Wild. Because that's how Magic the Gathering works. Like, no, they don't take out cards from rotation. They just keep adding more and more.
But you would be a newer player, so it would actually be a lot easier for you to play Standard, because there's less cards in the card pool.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That Magic the Gathering, because of that, is very hard to get into if you have people with decks from like loads and loads of expansions. Because then there's
don't they play like the tournaments with the cards of that year from that set?
If you go to events, then you only open boosters from that expansion. Because it's an event for that expansion.
They kind of had that format.
But they actually re-release cards into that expansion, so you can get older cards technically.
Yeah, but that is one of the huge problems with Hearthstone, is they're still trying to balance the game around both formats. Like, we saw the card Eater of Secrets released in the Whisper of the Old Gods, which is kind of useless in the standard format. But in the Wild format, where Doctor 6 still exists, the Mysterious Challenger, where you summon, 5 secrets from your deck, that card is still useful against it. So they are actively still trying to balance both of them at the same time, only through releasing expansions, trying to release 2 separate formats while not balancing Arena.
But they're trying to balance 2 formats by releasing 1 expansion. Why can't they release why can't they have cards that are in one but not the other?
Because the idea of Wild is that you have access to every card in the game.
Then why try and balance it then?
Well, that is...
it seems impossible to balance at that point, if that's what you're trying to do.
I think the most important format to balance is Standard, because that's the most competitive
You've
format.
called it Standard and called the other one Wild. Keep it Wild. You've called it this for a reason. Balance the one that's meant to be balanced.
The other problem with Blizzard is they also don't balance Arena properly.
No.
And they have just released a mage card that's a common card, that's 7 mana, deal 5 damage, and summon a random 5-cost minion, which is ridiculous in Arena. It would never be played in Standard because it's too slow and it doesn't really fit into any deck. But in value, that's insane. That's It's insane value, and it'll be used in Arena all the time. And it's been put on a class that is already really dominant in Arena.
Yeah.
And they're trying to balance 2 formats, one of which nobody, barely any of the player base plays. They're trying to balance a non-competitive format and not balancing a format that a lot of players do actually play in Arena.
Yeah.
Because I think if you got the statistics, there'd be more Arena players than Wild players. Or somewhat players.
I would assume that as well, yeah.
or some you have to pay to enter the arena, so it's probably not going to be as high, but there will be a lot more. There's a lot more on the line in arena because you are paying an entry fee and you can earn very big rewards.
Yeah.
So arena is very important to balance, because then if you give this really bad balance, and the format is almost pure RNG, because it's truly dependent on if you get one of the good 3 classes, and if you get good cards, then you can just win off kind of a coin flip, which is kind of like... there's so much RNG in this game, and they balance it so poorly. Like, you are so much more likely to lose the game with the coin as well. Like, if you go second, you're already at a disadvantage.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Didn't when it first came out, it was kind of the opposite, wasn't it? Or has it always been like that?
People preferred having the coin. It was a lot slower back then, though.
Yeah.
But going first now, basically, like, you are...
There's too much aggro.
You're, like, come to a point where you're, like, 10% more likely to win the game if you go first.
Right.
Which is kind of ridiculous. Like, the coin was fairly well balanced at the beginning, but now it's not balanced at all. So... they haven't balanced the classes, they haven't balanced arena, and even the coin flip that begins at the beginning of the game is imbalanced. Plus, all of the randomness that's in the game. In a digital card game that can actually be balanced, it's not like they have to reprint a bunch of cards.
Yeah. They're either balancing as if they've got paper
the dev team never communicates with the community. We get very limited videos from the actual dev team. The most notable one would be from Ben Brode, and even he isn't that active. I don't know, dude. I think because recently we saw the Murgle the Oracle, the promotion from Hearthstone, where they were saying, recruit a friend and get a shaman hero. Which is kind of another way of saying we need more people to play this game. Because I think someone at Blizzard HQ, they were tanking numbers on active players. That would be my guess. I think definitely the active player of the game has definitely gone down. My retention for that game has gone down a lot, where I will only really play it for daily quests to save up for a new expansion to... play the expansion and then just not play the game anymore. I only really enjoy the game when they add new content to it, and then when I'm finished playing with the new content, then I kind of just stop playing it.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
It was really good in the beginning as well.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, I didn't have time to play it, but I wanted to, and now I just look at it and I don't want to play it anymore.
It feels like Blizzard doesn't play most of their games.
No, apart from Overwatch.
Diablo is okay, but the Diablo team did a really good job turning that game, Diablo 3, from really poor game into an actually really enjoyable game. Yeah. Some of the classes are a lot stronger, like Demon Hunter's very strong, whereas like a Witch Doctor isn't that strong, say, for example, or like a Monk can just fly on screen, but it's kind of a different game though, because it's kind of PvE, so it's not really that important to have like each class be competitive.
You just want each class to be fun at that point, really.
I still think it's probably their second best balanced game.
Okay.
Diablo 3 is quite well balanced now.
Okay. So Blizzard, please balance your games. Please.
And they also just made it even harder, because you used to be able to go up to tier 10,
right?
But now you can go up to tier 13 difficulty.
So they're actually trying to change mechanics.
Yeah, I've been one shot on tier 8, so
right.
Yeah, tier 13 is going to be fucking insane. So I will be playing hardcore in the new season. I mean, I'm a roguelike player, so I'm definitely playing hardcore.
Of course you will.
We always get together and play hardcore, so it's very funny if someone dies and loses all their stuff.
Do you want to move on to the rumor mill of Blizzard, or
yeah. So talking about Blizzard, there's a rumor that at BlizzCon 2016 there will be an announcement for a StarCraft Brood Wars HD remaster. So have you played the original Brood Wars, Tony?
No, I've watched people play it though, and I would be interested in playing it a lot.
So you know the resolution of the original Brood Wars is very limited.
Let's just say you can count the pixels and the polygons. You can count.
Yeah.
So
this is
bad both ways.
So this is from a reputable source that the rumor, it came from like a Chinese forum post that's quite well known for confirming rumors, sort of thing.
Right.
So there might be some legitimacy behind this, but it is a rumor. Disclaimer on that.
But what we're going to speak about is how they're going to do it if it is true.
So a lot of games have come out recently, Toby, and this kind of remastered.
Fahrenheit.
This remastered term is kind of thrown around, and there's a difference between a remaster and a remake. So a remaster kind of like if you look at a remaster like Age of Empires 2 HD, you kind of make more modern resolutions and make upscale the textures slightly, which I'm not personally a big fan of.
No, but I think it gets even more complicated than this. Like you're saying, it's like remaster and make they remake the whole game not from scratch necessarily, but like a new engine and things. But sometimes they'll port a game over to a new engine, but not actually change that much. At which point is that still a remake, or was it just an HD version still? Because they haven't actually done anything. It gets quite complicated. But I think
the term is very it's not
muddy, not clear at all. But I think from this point of view, though, I think if they remake it in their current engine, opposed to just like taking the old one and cleaning it up, it'd be much better. Because the engine they currently got can easily do everything the old one could do. There's no reason not to remake it in it.
I would personally like to see a remake similar to the new Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah, exactly. So you completely do it from scratch. Yeah, but your
style.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
Add new features to it that people like, and
that would be perfect. Like bring like something like I think a lot of people really like the music and like the voice acting and things from then. You can probably keep that. I mean, if you want to redo that as well.
I would like a remastering. Maybe it's called. There's a remastering remake.
Yeah, I don't think there's
very unspecific.
They don't mean anything at the moment. They're just remastered HD edition remake.
It was said that they wanted to develop some remastering remakes for Brood Wars, Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2, so we might see those games remade or remastered as well, but the StarCraft one seems to be the one they're trying to do at the moment, or at least rumoured to be.
Well, hopefully. I want to see that.
I'm personally rooting for a remake of the Warcraft 3, because that was a game that took up most of my childhood.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that game. One of the best RTSs of all time.
The only RTS you'll play.
Hey, I liked Age of Empires too.
Okay. The second RTS you'll only play.
The first.
Okay.
But yeah, because I found that I spent most of my time in the custom games, playing games that had nothing to do with controlling more than one unit. Because
like Dota?
I hated, like Defense of the Ancients, or Run Kitty Run, or stuff like that. Because I found I loved the universe, I loved the story, I loved the heroes that they made, they were fun to play, but I can't control more than one unit at a time. I don't have the concentration for that sort of thing.
Whereas I'm poor at playing one character, but if I can just throw a load of characters at one thing, then I'm much better at that. I'm much better at SimCitying, as they call it in StarCraft, just building at your base, just your little city.
Getting that big city, yeah. But that's where I found Defense of the Ancients. I really enjoyed that, and then I went on to play MOBAs like League of Legends and that sort of stuff. Where I really enjoyed that.
I know this game will never be made, but it'd be cool if you'd have a game with some kind of a 2v2 sort of setup. So someone controls the base, and then someone plays like the general of the army. Because then like you would play like the hero, and then I would just be building shit at the base.
Yeah, wasn't there a game like that?
National Selection 2 has something like that. Like the commander can build at his base. An actual RTS, I have no idea.
There was a game that did that. Nuclear something? Or something like that.
No idea.
I cannot remember for the life of me. Nuclear Dawn. I think that this was where someone kind of controlled units, and then other people were in like an FPS.
Okay.
It was like a Source engine-based multiplayer game where it had real-time strategy with first-person shooter to it, where one person was like a commander.
Right.
Which I thought was quite interesting, because I would enjoy playing like the FPS while someone was enjoying playing the RTS.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite interesting.
Because I'm much better at like just building and like min-maxing like the tech trees and things, whereas you would be much better at getting like the Twitch reactions and like doing the most damage to people.
Yeah, I think the remasters of like Brood Wars or Warcraft 2 would be very interesting, because the custom games are where a lot of genres are actually made. Like in the original Brood Wars, you had stuff like tower defense was invented there.
There's still interesting things in the current
MOBA genre
arcade
was
as well.
Invented there and stuff. Yeah, we can talk about this quickly. You remember the StarCraft MMO I showed you that's coming out on StarCraft arcade? That looks insanely good.
It looked ridiculous.
Like someone's made an entire MMO on the StarCraft custom game system, on the StarCraft 2 one. That looks crazy good. I'm really looking forward to playing that actually when it comes out. Because if you don't know, you can play the StarCraft 2 arcade, the equivalent of the custom games from Warcraft 3, for free. You can get StarCraft 2's arcade only for free, so you don't have to buy the game to play that, which is a really nice move.
Yeah, they separated it from StarCraft 2 a while ago, didn't they?
Yeah. But yeah, that should be interesting. So have you seen that Valve has made Steam VR tracking fully open source for any company to use?
Well, I have now, but
you have now.
Not before, no.
This is the first time you're hearing about this.
Yeah, well, about an hour ago. But yeah,
they've said that they've been saying this for years. They don't want to like have their own platform exclusivity on their games. They want everyone to be able to play a game whatever system they want to use. And they've even gone far enough to give their technology out so other people can develop this.
It's not in their interest at all, though, because if everything's on their store, then it doesn't matter. So I think it'd be very good for like just the advancement of VR technology and the sort of experiences we can get from it.
I'll be very interested to see what people are going to do with this stuff, because then we can get stuff like using the motion tracking but putting it on gloves, because we've seen this recently in VR where people have been able to track fingers and hand movements in real motion with these sort of VR gloves that people wear, and having that with the kind of tracking a Vive has would be really interesting to see. One thing I was actually thinking about earlier would be really trippy is if you like scaled your room that you were playing the Vive into VR and then just started fucking around with it, like moving walls out.
Oh,
and stuff.
Right. Like Matrix style.
Yeah, it would kind of be like VR altered reality. It would be like VR AR sort of way. I think that'd be a really interesting experiment.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about Valve handing their technology out royalty free?
Well, I think they're putting the money where their mouth is, really, because they said they wanted like this free sort of industry. So I think they finally done it. I think it's gonna be really. I really like open source things like AMD graphics cards, open source. Nvidia aren't, and AMD I consider much more reputable than Nvidia. And same for Valve in this case. Like opposed to Facebook and Oculus trying to buy exclusivity. Like, but I really think it helps though. Like open source, like really helps. Like technology being innovative and actually advancing the whole time. I don't think putting things behind patent walls and things really doesn't help anyone apart from the company that holds the patent.
Well, once again, Valve proved that they are one of the best consumer-friendly.
They're still pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect, obviously, but they're still pretty good.
Well, I don't think there's any company that comes above them.
No, I don't think there's any company above them. No, but people like to argue that because they're not perfect like they thought they were, then they're evil in some way, like all other businesses. But at the end of the day, they're still a business, and as a business they're pretty good.
Got really annoyed at them for the paid mod things, but
that was done awfully.
It was done really badly.
I don't disagree with paid mods, it's just the way they implemented it was so bad.
But as soon as they saw, what they'd done, they instantly said, okay, we're going to completely scrap this. It's done.
Yeah, they worked on it for months, and then they just instantly, like, in a week, they got rid of it.
They knew that they could have stood behind it and said, deal with it, you'll get past it, which I think a lot of people would have just given up on it, the issue, and just accepted it. But no, they said, you guys don't like this, we're getting rid of it.
They are good for that.
I'm very excited because the Vive is really good. It's a really good piece of technology. We've both used it now.
It is fantastic.
Some of the most fun I've had in gaming in a very long time has been on virtual reality. It's bloody amazing, and I'm really excited for what's to come.
You may notice that whenever we talk about VR, we never talk about games. We always say experience, because it is weird though, isn't it? Like, it is an experience. It's not. You can't treat it like a normal game.
Well, the thing is,
it's how it affects you. Like,
you couldn't
directly.
You couldn't record a virtual reality experience because it's not the same thing. It would an equivalent, I would say, it'd be like trying to watch a 3D film in 2D. It's like it doesn't work. If
3D films were good, but yeah.
That is saying if 3D films are good. What are you talking about, Toby? What about Spy Kids 3D?
Oh my god!
Fantastic film.
Or Avatar 3D. Avatar didn't need to be 3D. Then again, Avatar didn't have to exist. But regardless,
it was okay.
It was okay, but it had this massive fanfare for no reason. And the story was obvious.
It was a very well shot film.
It was a good
looking film.
The world was very nice. That's why I like it. I'm not a hater, but I don't think it's fantastic.
Well, what do you think about blowing up the tree 9/11? That's what people were saying. The blowing up of the tree was a statement on 9/11.
Right?
Yes or no?
Are they trying to say Americans are basically terrorists on Pandora?
I have no idea.
Can I just go on a quick tangent here?
Right.
They know they're on a moon, right, like a gas giant in another star system, right?
Yeah.
And the moon's called Pandora.
Yeah.
There's already a moon called Pandora in our solar system.
Probably where we got the name from.
Why would you name it twice? I just think that's lazy research on the filmmakers. Cameron. Then again, they had unobtainium or something, didn't they?
This is the same film from the man who re-released Titanic and sold it to people.
Jeez, that is true.
Titanic is back.
Right.
Titanic 2: Revenge of the Boat.
That is hilarious. On a side note.
Yeah, if they had a Titanic 2, that'd be pretty funny.
Anyway, that's my tangent complete. What were we talking about? VR.
Steam VR.
That was it.
Yeah. Speaking of Steam, Steam's now added GIF restrictions to cheaters who get VAC banned, and given devs permanent ban options on their game. So if someone's caught cheating in their game, they can give them from a couple of hours or a day to a permanent ban.
If Valve doesn't detect it and the game developer does, then they can ban them directly. Is the thinking behind it?
I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, no, I think with everything there's ways to abuse it, but I think overall it's really, really good.
I don't see any way to abuse that though.
No, I think I saw a potential way, and then I kind of realised it wouldn't like in reality actually work.
Because I don't see why any game dev would maliciously
No.
ban you from the game, like unless you've done something to ruin someone else's experience of the game.
Yeah. I think because it's not even like giving it to like admins or like mods that are from the community either, because you get some really weird admins and mods from that. But that's not what's happening. They're like professional. They work at the company. They're professionals. If they fuck up, then they might lose their job. So yeah, in practice, what I feared, like I don't think is a problem.
So the GIF restriction, I find it ludicrous that these kind of cheaters, they stockpile one game, and then when they get banned, just trade off all the copies of the game to another account.
What? Is that what they were doing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So now they've made it so when you once you've traded a game to another account, you're then banned from trading that game.
Right. Okay.
So what they do is they'll wait for a sale. So say you were cheating in CSGO.
Yeah.
You bought CSGO on your account, and then you bought like 5 copies of the game for like $5 or however much it was in the sale. So then you're like saving a lot of money if you know you're going to be buying multiple copies of the game. And then as soon as they got VAC banned, they trade the gift copies off to another account, and then they were then we were just installing on the other account and then playing off that one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, I don't understand. Why couldn't they just stockpile the game on the alt account?
Yeah, that seems... Yeah.
I don't really understand the gift restriction thing.
No. I think there are some other dodgy things that are going on as well, but I don't need to mention them. But if you're cheating, you know you're gonna get banned. Surely you'd already prepare an alt account.
Yeah, or maybe they.
Or surely you just make an alt account that you never use, but has all these games stored on it, and then you trade it to that alt account. Obviously, you're never going to trade it again. You just play on it. It doesn't seem to be a perfect system. I realise I might have just given some ideas to some cheaters, but I feel like Valve hasn't thought this through.
As soon as they get banned, they no longer use to purchase copies of VAC or game ban enabled games in their inventory. Additionally, if an account has directly gifted to a game to other players who have been VAC or permanently game banned, then that account will lose the ability to gift that game.
Right.
I don't know much about cheating on Steam, so I will say I'm not really sure how this will stop this.
I can see many loopholes myself. I'm not sure this is going to help that much.
We'll have to keep an eye on that.
But where's the problem coming from there though? Because I realise they've cheated and their account have been banned. Right. But surely they've legitimately bought the games again for a different account. So what are they trying to stop? The cheaters from playing the game? Because they can always make another account and just buy it again. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be a problem.
I think the problem with Steam is they don't IP ban people.
Well, I don't think you can.
You can. The other games do. Blizzard has hardware detection on their game, so if it detects your computer, if it detects you're running the game on the same computer, it will instantly ban your other account.
Right. I guess that would help a lot, but just borrow someone else's computer though.
And then what? Just play all games on that computer.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we don't know much about Steam cheating or what they actually want to accomplish.
They have a very light banning policy, and they're kind of trying to bolster it up with this change.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Overwatch is like, if you get caught cheating, we will like ban your IP, credit card, hardware ever being used to purchase this game. which I much prefer.
Well, even it's like Battle.net banning in a way.
We haven't seen any false positives from this at all. So,
well, there's no like hackers in Overwatch, is there? Because of it? Well,
no,
very few.
It's almost impossible. And they're sending out ban waves, so hackers don't know what's getting them banned.
Yeah.
That's one of the main things that people don't realise about ban waves. They're like, why don't people just get banned as soon as they like cheat? Because then they get to cheat for a little bit more before they get banned. The reason they wait and they do a ban wave is so cheaters don't realise what's getting them caught.
Yeah.
That's actually a really important thing about ban waves.
Ambiguity of the evidence.
Mm. They don't want cheaters to know what's getting them caught, so they can't change things with the cheating software.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting move from Steam. They also have put like 10 more names on companies they're going to sue if they don't take down their CSGO gambling websites. They're still pushing.
Blimey.
Well, the CSGO gambling websites still exist, and they changed their API now, so it's going to be a slow process of slowly saying, this is against our terms of service. If you don't adhere to this, we will sue you, basically.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to do that. In other Valve news...
Valve news? More Valve news.
Dota 2 International Prize Pool just hit $20 million. That's the biggest esports prize pool ever.
That is huge.
One of the main reasons they're able to do this, though, is because they use a lot of crowdfunding. So they have it so you buy like a pass or you buy skins to do with the international, and then a percentage of the money goes into the prize pool. And people seem to like this system a lot. Like I know,
well, it seems like a huge prize for whoever wins.
Yeah,
it seems really good. Like they're making money from it, and they're able to support esports with it.
I mean, Rocket League said that they were going to do this with their microtransaction crates. A percentage of all the purchases would go towards the esports prize pool. I don't know if there is any Rocket League esports really at the moment. It's not very popular, if I'm going to be honest.
It's a shame. I think it looks like a really fun game every time I watch it.
I'm not sure people would watch it though.
No.
I think the game is probably more fun to play than it is to watch.
To me, I think the arenas are too small to have like interesting plays. There's not enough mechanics like from car to car.
Well, when you add giant boxing gloves, you can shoot out of your car with this new game mode, Toby. That's esports.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think they ever will become a big esports. So I think they'll have like a couple of MLG tournaments, maybe a couple of their own sponsored tournaments. But I think the main esports at the moment will stay main, like CS:GO and.
Yeah, but I don't think Rocket League are necessarily trying to get to this huge level. I think they realise they're never going to get there, but they just want some sort of esports.
I don't understand how Dota 2 has like a prize pool of 20 million and they're still not quite as popular as like League of Legends or CS:GO.
Well, yeah, in comparison, what's like the biggest League of Legends prize pool?
I think it's like 1 million.
What? So this is 20 times more?
Like the most popular games and viewership for esports is kind of League, CS:GO, and fighting games are really popular.
Yeah,
like Tekken.
They've always have been, haven't they? Though,
like Tekken and Street Fighter, and then you kind of have like secondary ones like Dota 2, Hearthstone. Overwatch is kind of becoming an esport, but I think people would rather play the game than watch it. That's my personal opinion.
It seems to be that, yeah.
Because that's the thing with Overwatch. If I see someone playing Overwatch, I just want to play Overwatch because I'd rather just play Overwatch than see someone else playing it.
I would say as well, like a very skilled player doesn't look that skilled on screen, opposed to like what it actually is.
Definitely is, because you can see this in FPS.
No, absolutely.
Counter-Strike Go.
But I think with Overwatch it's a little bit more hard to see, though.
I just think like people would rather watch Hearthstone than play it because of its RNG.
Yeah.
Unrewarding to the player.
Well, we know that you watch a lot of your friends' games on Hearthstone, Joe.
Yeah, I like seeing other people get fucked by RNG. I don't want to get fucked by RNG myself, but I think the reason Overwatch has a lower viewership than a game like Hearthstone is because people would rather play it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the problem with Dota when it came out at a really hard time because everyone who wanted to play MOBA so they played Defense of the Ancients on the custom games and Warcraft 3. And the problem was they didn't really do anything. They had the standalone mod, Dota All-Stars, and then nothing was done with the IP for years until like Heroes of Newerth and League came along, and League got absolutely huge because there was a huge demand for MOBAs. But one of the main problems was Dota 2 came out too late to be like really big, and people had already started playing the MOBA. And by nature, MOBAs are like some of the grindiest games to get into.
Yeah.
And they're also mainly free to play, so you put like a bunch of monetary value into the game already. That's why it's so hard to make a MOBA and MMO these days, because people already have these games that they've put money into, they like playing, and they don't want to put money and bunch of time into your games. So it seems like they're not great to make. Like,
which kind of brings us back to the start when we were saying Guild Wars 2 was a good secondary MMO. For a playstyle and like where you buy it.
Well, you only had to buy the disc.
It's just like buying a game. It's like one-off buying a game. It does nothing. And
you could just put it in your computer and then log in and play it randomly whenever you want to play it. That's kind of like what I do. I kind of come back to the game. I don't know. I don't like how Guild Wars 2 is balanced, though. I don't think it's... A lot of the characters don't really feel that good to play.
I think there's not much like end game content to do anything with to balance it in the first place. It's all PvE and leveling up. They put their effort into.
Thing is, I'm a massive PvP player, so that's kind of disappointing for me.
When the World v World is interesting, though.
That was probably the most interesting thing that they did with PvP.
As someone who can't play Guild Wars 2 by myself, but it's something that I'd want to look into at some point. It looks really interesting.
I literally can't play Guild Wars 2 by myself because I picked a Mesmer, and they're by far one of the worst classes to level up.
You've chosen a squishy character that does no damage.
Yeah.
Whereas I picked a Necromancer, which is somehow a tank. I did not expect that when I first started playing a Necromancer, my character was not a tank in any way, and then as I got more and more specializations, it became a tank.
One thing that surprised me is they said, we will never add flying mounts to
Guild
Wars 2, and because they want people to, go out and explore these vistas and places and really explore the environment. And then they added gliders
they're not flying though, they're falling with style.
Is falling with style really that different to flying?
Yes, because you can't just go up like World of Warcraft does it. Like you just fly up as far as you go.
I know it's different in that way, but
it also they can only go up like from jump pads or just jumping off like a high ridge, and there's something really fun by just gliding down.
Yeah, gliding is very fun, but I still think they kind of went back on saying we will never add mounts, and they added gliders.
I think they listened to what the high level people were saying though. I think they said, it'd be really cool, you could just glide, and it's not really flying. And I think it's the right move, personally. I think gliding looks really fun, and the jump pads are pretty cool. And it's not as game breaking as just straight up flying mounts.
Yeah, for sure. But talking about Dota 2. What do you think about the prize pool and its viewership and that sort of stuff?
It is huge. Would this not increase the viewership, or does it not really work like that?
Yeah, if there's 20 million to win in a game, I think it's going to get people way more interested in what that game's about. I know they had like a newcomer stream for the TI last year, and I watched that. It made me want to, because they had like a massive prize pool last year, and they had like people like Deadmau playing in the ceremony, and
it was
a well-produced show.
Yeah.
Apart from the kind of epileptic cameraman who went crazy and just started doing crazy zooms every second in Deadmau's concert, which was like the most anticlimactic concert I've ever seen in my life.
Just having fun, Joe.
But they kind of win. They win fucking the international. They're kind of like, yay, we won. And then Deadmau comes on and the cameraman has a fit, starts zooming the camera like an absolute madman, plays like 1 or 2 songs, and then just goes off. And it was, I don't know, I didn't like the ending to that show, but it was a good tournament overall.
So you're saying that Deathmatch has been on for half an hour just in the background as they're talking about stuff? You want Deadmau5 in the background for half an hour? Is that what you wanted?
No.
More Deadmau5?
It just really didn't feel that fitting for him to come on, really. I want more of a bang when they win the international.
Yeah. It's like loud music.
I mean, it's really hard to get esports players to come on a stage and be like, yes, we just won. Because a lot of the time they're just like, oh, we just won the international, what do I do? They're not known for being the most interactive, charismatic people.
Not like footballers or F1 drivers, just like champagne everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you've seen the like GIF of the esports player who like shakes the champagne and doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like they have no idea. That's the main problem. That's my main problem with the esports players. They don't know how to celebrate.
No.
They can't just stand there and they're like, "Oh, we won."
What will happen next?
I wonder what will happen.
Biggest problem with... I mean, to be fair, biggest problem with esports is that it's a pretty good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the... kind of small topics this week, because not a lot big has happened. So we'll do quick, small points. 2K has vowed to stick with Battleborn despite its low player base. Like, when they say they're going to stick with it, you know, they said that they're going to add more content to the game and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Are they going to go free to play with this? When is this coming? I feel like it needs to happen ASAP.
Yeah, I think the free content, regardless if they go free to play or not, is a good plan though. Because the reason why Minecraft is so big now is because they kept updating it, and like it was always interesting, and the player base just got bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I think this is the right way to go. Like, if you continually update your game, like as long as it's economically viable. Of course.
People are definitely interested in this game. There is like a core amount of people that want to play this game.
But there are problems with it for like the average player, though.
I mean, I personally, when I played the beta, I hated the game. I really couldn't get into it. Did not enjoy the single player or the multiplayer. I know people do like it, but it just came out at such a bad time where it was being compared to Borderlands, like the fantastic game from 2K, and it was being compared to Overwatch, the fantastic game from Blizzard.
Yeah, it's stuck in the middle of two really good products.
The problem was, it wasn't like either of those games, but it was being compared to both of them, even though it was kind of this unique first-person MOBA that some people liked.
Well, hype expectation to what the game actually is actually really important for a lot of people. Like, it's not to me at all. I don't really care about the hype and what it was meant to be.
Well, I was
it's just how for fun it is.
I was really disappointed by the game because I could see how much of the original Borderlands humor was in the single-player campaign experience that I was kind of more interested in as a massive like Borderlands 2 fan. I think Borderlands 2 is probably one of the best co-op.
Borderlands 2 is fantastic.
It's one of the best co-op shooters ever made, I think, personally. Really well made, very funny. It just wasn't the same because you could kind of see like a couple of jokes were funny here and there, but it just didn't have the same charm. And we're back after that short break. Tony, you had to go move a bench.
It's a common problem.
Yeah, benches are always needing moving. Sorry,
benches always need movies. I watch all the bench movies.
But we were talking about 2K. I think there is an audience for Battleborn, and if they keep developing it, they can help it grow. But I definitely think it needs to go free to play soonish before the game dies.
I think, from a personal point of view, free to play would really. Well, I would actually just play it at that point. And maybe buy some. I don't know. What would they? You play the game, so what would they do to be able to make a profit from it going free to play though?
Well, I played the beta. I don't know to play the game.
Okay.
The game already has a lot of grinding. in it. You have to unlock all the characters, so probably adding currency to buy characters and buy skins.
Okay.
Similar to like a MOBA.
Like a normal MOBA sort of, yeah. That makes sense.
The format's already there. I don't see why it's not implemented. Because they've already have this kind of... You can grind to get the characters. Well, why can't you just pay to get the characters?
Yeah.
People will pay for that shit, because no one really wants to grind this stuff.
Well, I hate grinding. Unless it's in Minecraft.
We'll talk about final topic, which is a very popular up-and-coming game, No Man's Sky. Now, I've been looking forward to this for a while. I showed you it when it demoed at E3 and said I was quite intrigued for this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it? Are you hyped for No Man's Sky?
I'm looking forward to it, but I think people are stupidly overhyped for what it actually is. Like, 'cause I kind of know, like, because of like Minecraft and other Studio generated games, like how much it can actually be. Like, you still need to make all the assets. There's only so much infinite it can be.
Yeah, they've said that the world is so big it would take you 500 billion years to.
I don't even care about all of this hype nonsense though. Like, from a personal point of view, this is the type of game I really want to play. It's like Elite Dangerous, but with more wildlife and more living things on planets, which is what I want. That's all I want.
It sounds like the perfect podcast game where you can just go and explore planets and find out what's on them. Something you could. It sounds like a very relaxing game, but there is also a combat system and an advanced trading system to upgrade your ship. And
from the most recent combat trailer, though, I was a bit concerned with it. It seemed a bit basic.
They really didn't show that much, though.
No, they technically showed more combat in all the other trailers than they did in the combat trailer.
Yeah.
But it should be okay.
League gameplay.
It should be fine. It should be just like a relaxing, moving your ship around, shooting thing gameplay, which I'm all for. In a lot of the trailers, because I went back and watched some of the trailers, like they had like massive fleets warping in. I hope they keep that. That would be amazing to be a random event.
Well, what they've done for this procedurally generated planet is they've actually made AI to explore the galaxy to make sure that all the planets are up to their standards of what should be in each planet to make it interesting enough to visit.
Yeah.
So hopefully there won't be a problem with that sort of thing. Can a game ever live up to this kind of hype, though? I think people are making it sound like there's features that they'll want that it just was never meant to have.
I don't see how it's possible with our current coding technology and current power of computers and how much time's actually been spent on the game.
I'm really going to be interested to see this. It comes out in 4 days from now.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to have fun playing it, but I'm actually more interested in what the shitstorm from the general internet, people on the internet will be. I'm actually more interested in that.
It meant to come out yesterday, but they've actually pushed back the global release for every platform for the game because the PC version needed development. And as Sean Murray said, they don't actually have a 21:9 monitor at the office, so he's been developing the resolution for the game with pieces of cardboard around his monitor.
Right.
So you can actually see what it looks like, which I think was quite funny. But they're definitely adding that sort of extra mile stuff for people with these, big monitors.
Well, they're putting effort in, which is always appreciated. So
I think we will just have to wait and see, because they've already released the day one update for the game.
Right.
Which I haven't looked too in depth into because apparently it has spoilers for the game.
Right.
But
well, I assume neither of us are going to replay it like instantly as it comes out, though.
Well, the day one patch has dramatically changed the game, where they've changed the universe generation algorithm. They've kind of expanded the inventories, and they've kind of changed the story a lot, so there's a lot more story elements to it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of changes to it, but I kind of want to experience the game before I kind of delve into this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't really speak about it in any detail otherwise.
Sean Murray was very disappointed when the game got leaked. He sounded very sad that people were kind of seeing the experience before this day one patch was supposed to go live, and before, he's added all the polish to it and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And he's had to push back the release of the game because of the PC issues that they were having and adding the extra support.
Yeah.
But if this game promises on just the basis of being a procedurally generated planet where you fly around
and it's fun to just explore, then it's already checked my check
that's
marks.
already the game that I want.
Yeah, but the hype train wants more than that. The hype train never stops, Joe, and it wants more and more. It's like a demon train.
Hype train never stops, Tony.
Exactly. There are no brakes on the hype train.
This is going to be a really interesting one. But there's not much more to say about that, to be honest, because we know so little about the game until it's released.
But
and also
hopefully
because
it's good.
We don't want to spoil it.
Hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed. Good luck, No Man's Sky developers.
I'm just going to say now. Hang on. So, what am I on my? Is this game going to be good or is it bad?
You're 5-1. I can't remember. You said one game's be really shit, and you were right. I can't remember what it was though.
Surely I'm down though, because I said winning part was going to be huge. And
No. You've only got 1 point.
Oh, I've only got 1 point.
Yeah, you've only got 1. You failed on 5.
What was the one game I said was going to be good? I can't.
Well, no, you said one game was going to be bad, and it was bad. That's also on the scoreboard.
Minecraft. It was shit. It still is.
Well, unfortunately, sales disagree. They're still selling them.
Well, I'm going to say now, 4 days before No Man's Sky's release, it will be a success. It may not live up to everyone's expectations of what they thought the game was going to be, but I think the game will be a good space exploration, procedurally generated game.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Well, I'm going to say now, I'm predicting, Toby, it will be.
Alright, I'll keep a mental note.
Alright. Well, that's another. If anyone's making a tally of this, then we can put that together and see how many I'm right by.
I'm sure Scorn Retorts will get right on that.
Oh, my biggest fan. Well, I'll move on to Toby's wish list, the final segment of the show, to see
the best segment, arguably.
Toby's favourite segment of the game. So I'll have a look at Toby's wish list quickly and see what games. One thing I want to talk about, Toby, why did you put Mighty Number 9?
All right, okay, yeah. List? I thought you might come up with that.
Because this game's been it was the game that was being hyped up as the new Mega Man game that's coming out and it's going to be like the modern day Mega Man, and it was just critically panned and nobody liked the game. It was really buggy on launch and broken, and the gameplay just wasn't that fun.
I don't know. I watched Jim Sterling play some gameplay, and it looked really fun. It might not live up to the hype, and I think the character models are like really bad, but the level designs look really interesting. Some of the abilities you can have, some of the abilities that the enemies have look quite interesting. The level design itself is quite interesting as a platformer, in my opinion. And thus, I kind of want to get it. And it's not that expensive anymore. I don't know if it ever was. It's only £16.
£16 is still quite expensive for a platformer.
I don't know. The voice acting is pretty good, though.
Because the game's not that long, either.
Yeah, I give it that, but maybe it's a sale item. I probably won't get it straight away, obviously. Most of the stuff on my wish list stays on my wish list.
Everyone was expecting this super, even free-to-play games, everyone was expecting this like super hard Mega Man, successor, and it was just this really easy short game that didn't look that great and was incredibly buggy.
But for me, it's kind of interesting enough to be on my wish list, in my opinion. Like, minus the drama around it, and I completely agree with people saying like the development was bad and like they missed out loads of features and the designing concept was much better than it is now. But even saying all that, it's still a game that I probably want to buy at some point, and that is why it's on my wish list.
I feel like it's lower down on your wish list, though.
Yeah. On my priorities, it'd be a lot lower down. Not that I've ever sorted it.
Because Toby also claims to not like platformers, but every single game I find on his wish list
I've come to realise...
is a platformer.
I've come to realise, though, the reason why I said I don't like platformers is because you like platformers which are... like you just like solid mechanics for platforming, whereas I need something else. I need it to be a platformer and have be interesting in another way.
You have an interesting mechanic.
Yeah, I really like the enemy design.
I like platformers that are really good, solid platformers. And then if they have interesting stuff on them, that's a bonus.
Yeah, to me, I can't just have the solid platforming. I hate just platforming.
I'm actually pretty hyped for the new Sonic game.
Oh, the new Sonic game. What's it called again?
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to look it up quickly. Because I don't remember either, actually.
It's a weird name.
Because it would have been like Sonic 4 or 5, but it's now called. Oh god, I'm not going to be able to find this, am I?
I'm afraid not.
It's
the one on Jim Sterling's channel. There's a super Reddit of was it 25th anniversary or something?
Yes, so for the anniversary they did like a conference.
Oh my god, it is one of the best I've ever seen.
By far the cringiest conference ever seen in
technical quality. Oh, I love the buzzing, the cutouts of sound. Those are my favourite.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy in the Sonic suit, though. I mean, fair enough. How much do you think he got paid for? Because whatever game they announced there, because they announced the game there, whatever that was is the one that Joe is talking about right now. I thought...
Is it just called the 25th anniversary Sonic?
Maybe? It might be.
Because I'm trying to look up the name and I cannot, for the life of me, find the name of the game.
I guess it must be then, or it hasn't been announced properly. I don't know. I have no idea. But what made you interested in it though? Like, what did you see in the trailer that you liked?
So it's being made by a man who's been well known for he was like a game brewer, like a modder for the original Sonic games,
right.
And he kind of made these Sonic mods, and he made these with on the original Sonic ROMs and remade them into these really fun games.
One thing I do remember from the trailer though, I remember they're making it all 2D again, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I remember they added a mechanic to they seriously said they added a mechanic to keep the momentum, which I remember.
Oh, here we go. Sonic Mania.
Okay, but I remember NoCube said that his biggest problem with modern Sonics was there was no they forgot that what made Sonic great was the momentum. So if they've actually added a mechanic to keep momentum in some way, then it should be an interesting game.
It's the main reason. So going back to what I was saying, I get hyped because of this guy who made the Sonic ROMs. He was called Taxman.
Right.
He's not very well known outside of the Sonic community, but he basically, he.
What? Why has he got a supervillain name from Sonic?
I don't know.
Like Eggman. Taxman.
Maybe he takes taxes. he did the port of the original Sonic 1 and 2 to the iPhone, and he made one of the best versions of Sonic.
Oh really?
Because he'd been using the Sonic engine for so long to make these modern day revamps of Sonic onto these newer systems. So I have a lot of faith that this guy has made some of arguably the best Sonic games to play in this era of time.
Well, if he thought of the mechanic for momentum, then fair enough.
He's making a retro. He's making a retro Sonic game that's kind of a mix of the old levels. It's kind of a mix of these old levels, but they've been added with new stuff to them. They've added like the new spin to them. I don't know. I'm kind of hyped for this. I'm really interested to play it. If you're interested in learning about Taxman and Stealth, this other guy who was also added onto the development team, which is why people are getting quite hyped for.
They are flipping chosen Sonic names though. Jesus Christ.
There's a Super Bunny Hop video on his channel about Taxman and Stealth and the story behind Sonic fans turned into like these hacking developers that have been bought up by Sonic. Speaking of developers, like actually Sonic Team did something that made sense for once. What the fuck is a Sonic? People have been asking them for years to actually make another fucking Sonic the Hedgehog game rather than trying to make fucking Sonic Racing or Sonic Heroes or all that stuff. Jesus Christ, it's taken them a long bloody time to just go back to what actually worked.
I think the answer to the question, what the fuck is a Sonic?
What the fuck is a Sonic? But yes, we're talking about that. This is like an example of the Sonic team finally have said, okay, we kind of don't know what to do with Sonic. We're going to go back to our roots, and we're actually going to hire someone who knows what he's doing because he's made this mod content for us before. Whereas, like we were talking about with Bethesda, they didn't buy up this Autumn Leaves guy. They kind of just try to make it themselves. So this is a really good step from Sonic Team. And if this is done well, we could see a back to form for Sonic.
Hopefully.
So I don't agree with Mighty Number 9 on your wish list, Toby. Okay. Unfortunately.
Well, we have different platforming ideas, so fair enough.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'm just going to quickly look through your... Toby, why have you put Ghostbusters the video game in your bloody
Okay, it's not the new one, it's the old one.
Yeah, but what interests you about
Are we
this?
actually doing it? Are we actually doing this one?
Yeah. Ghostbusters the video game. Who you going to call? The Ghostbusters are back on an all-new adventure with Manhattan overrun again by supernatural creatures. Gamers take the role of a new recruit joining the famous Ghostbusters team, equipped with a variety of unique equipment and gadgets. Players hunt, fight, and wrangle a wide range. So it's kind of we've got the action comedy third person single.
Yeah, I want to catch some ghosts. What more do you want from me, Joe?
That doesn't tell me anything about the gameplay. Is it a shooter?
No, you catch ghosts
with guns.
You catch ghosts.
But you like shoot them with the guns and Ghostbusters.
Oh, from the screenshots I see, that's what's going on.
That really doesn't explain to me how the game plays out.
It says players hunt, so maybe you have to find them and track them down. It says hunt, fight, then wrangle. I assume wrangle is what they mean at the end when they try and get it into the ghost trap. So, I think it has an actual proper name. I apologise to anyone who loves Ghostbusters and I haven't called it the proper name. I apologise for that.
Well, it has the original cast.
Yeah.
This game came out in 2009, so I'm a bit confused where this game came from, because I've never heard of this until now. And it's got really positive reviews.
It has overall it's very positive. Then recently, overwhelmingly positive. I think it's gotten more traction recently from the actual new Ghostbusters video, because that's how I found this. I was going through my Steam queue, and then there's the new Ghostbusters video game. It looked awful. Then it recommended this at the bottom.
Apparently, this is Ghostbusters 3 in video game form.
Is that what someone has said?
Yeah, because apparently we had Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and then this is Ghostbusters 3. Apparently it's that good, because it's got a really good story to it. So, and it's a comedy game, it's quite funny.
Oh, another one says, this is a good 8.5 out of 10, and the cash grab game dev for the newest one has gone bankrupt.
Well,
I read on Kotaku.
I read on Kotaku that he's gone bankrupt. Well, okay, Toby, this can be on your wish list. I'm going to give this one to you.
I actually like the idea of wrangling ghosts. I didn't even read the description. That would have sold me instantly before these screenshots in the video.
I won't lie. That definitely sounds like something I would enjoy.
Wrangling up a ghost.
Right. It's going on my wish list right now.
Okay, I've done it. It's only taken another 4 episodes, but I've finally done it.
I think I've added stuff to my wish list.
Not for 4 episodes.
Once.
Last episode just full of really bad stuff. The episode before that was Ultimate Bass Fishing. The one before that was more
MABS. Ultimate Bass Fishing. Toby, we all won that game.
And one before that, you might have added one. So, yeah, about 4 episodes.
Toby, what the hell is Replica? Do you want to read what this game is?
Replica, did you say?
Yep.
£2 game.
Do you want to read the description?
I don't know what this is. Replica is an interactive novel game played through a cell phone and social media. The insane experience of peeping into someone's private life through a cell phone will transform you into the state's greatest patriot. I don't know why I added this. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know why you added this.
I'm trying.
It's kind of
it looks weird. That's probably why it's there.
It's an indie adventure pixel graphics puzzle game. So you're kind of playing through this story-based game through a phone screen. You're peeping into someone's private life through a cell phone.
It looks a lot like an iPhone as well.
Well, whatever the phone is doesn't really matter, does it?
No, I'm just looking at the options menu. They've made it look like an iPhone.
You're looking for evidence of terrorism by hacking into the cell phone's owner account under government coercion, then inspecting the cell phone under user history and social media activity records. Actually, I think Dodger was talking about this on the co-optional podcast. Said you were streaming.
It just looks really weird. That's probably why I added it. It's like, what? A game through a cell phone?
Well, it's a story-based game, Toby, so you already know how I feel about this one.
It's indie adventure pixel graphics puzzle, Joe.
With Steam trading cards, my main.
Has hacking and dystopian in the tags.
Toby, if there isn't a hacking minigame, that's the hacking minigame from Bioshock 1.
What, that shitty pipe game that you can have in there?
That was the best minigame that's ever been done.
I disagree. Hacking. I really love the Ratchet and Clank.
The only one that
ones.
comes close is Ratchet and Clank.
No, those are by far the best in my opinion.
Because it doesn't matter what you do, like lockpicking, hacking, fishing. If you just add the minigame from Bioshock 1 where you connect the pipes and it has nothing to do with anything.
It doesn't matter
it's
if
a
the
fun
theme,
minigame.
It doesn't matter if the theme's wrong. It can be just that minigame.
You could make me play a game of Peggle and I would enjoy that more than most of the lockpicking, hacking minigames.
That is a mod I want to see for Skyrim. Just lockpicking minigame replaced with Peggle. You have to complete a Peggle game to unlock it.
Yeah, you have to complete it, and then the Peggle levels get harder as the lock.
Yeah. It's expert lock is like a really hard one. The master level is like this almost impossible one. You have like the skills make it easier depending like what skill tree you've gone down. Right, I'll get on. Well, I'll write it down, Joe. I'll get it going.
Right, I think it's okay that you put this on your wish lists because it's kind of interesting. It's only £2.
It is only £2. That is true.
I don't want to play this personally myself. I'm not really.
It's not the controllers as Paul. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. There's no leaderboards, I'm afraid, Tony. That's what really thrown me off from the experience. But yeah, that is the end of the podcast. Before we go, I will just say the Danny Dye tweet of today. I've picked this one up. I swear to God, it tasted like chicken. There you go.
Wait, what?
It's in response to a tweet, but I haven't read the context of the tweet. But I think it's way funnier if I just read his replies out of context. I swear to God, it tasted like chicken.
It wasn't me,
Thanks, Danny.
It was chicken, honest.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for watching the podcast. As always, I have been Joe Scorn Brace. You can catch me at Scorn 2000 on Twitter. You can watch Scorn on YouTube. That is me. Hello. I will be doing some more roguelike reviews and some roguelike videos. Toby, have you made the Talented RT YouTube channel?
Have I done anything? No, I've done shit all.
All he does is just play fucking Prison Architect and Minecraft and never make any videos like he says he is.
I'm such a terrible human being when it comes to promising things. I feel like a mini Peter, I'm not going to lie.
Well, Peter's name's been mentioned, so I'm fucking out of here. Goodbye. It's the Charlie Brooker one. Alright, bye.
Bye.